Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to AdventureBound. This episode, we're going to go a little off the rails, get a little bit out of my comfort zone, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be all okay because I want to talk about personal projects that you can use to keep yourself inspired, keep yourself going when you're feeling like you're a little worn out by the things you always do. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but it does happen to me when I'm just entrenched in client work and there's this little thing like I want to work on something else. I really want to get going on another project or something that's like not the thing I need to be doing. But we don't always have time for that. But this episode is about taking a little bit of time just to do something, even if it's a small little thing. But before we get into that, I want to say hi to chat. What's up, everybody? What's up, D, Alejandro, Oliver, Jack? I'm not trying to call you out, but I might be calling you out in hopefully a good way. We're gonna jump into Illustrator at some point today, and I'm okay in Illustrator, but if you hear me, sound the Jack alarms, that means hey, I need help. But what are we doing today? Well, we're getting out of the comfort zone. You can already tell I'm out of my comfort zone. But we're doing that with a specific project. And I'm going to bring up a little video here in a minute. I decided a while back there was a place I wanted to visit called Red Bluff, Mississippi. And basically a hiking trail is a rapid erosion area. And thanks, Jack. Jack's saying I'm here for you. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is just a really cool place to go hike. And I took pictures and I took some video. I did not know that I would be making anything out of it necessarily, but I did. And this video is one of those little small projects that I was talking about. Let me set that up for us real quick. And let's see if I can make this happen. Let me turn off a couple of things. You're going to see the start of it. Let me turn this off and then we'll go full screen. Okay, I'm going to turn the audio up. If the audio gets a little weird, as far as like you can't hear me when I come back, let me know. Because I'm bumping up the desktop audio. So, muting myself before I mute myself. I'll be back. But I had wanted to visit Red Bluff for a while, but never took the time to just take the time and do it. It was a short trip, all planned in about an hour, and I was lucky enough to have some friends that wanted to go with me. So we got up the next morning and drove out to Red Bluff, Mississippi, and had a little adventure. The experience was another reminder to always take the time to take the time. Okay, so that's the video. But what that video kind of led to is me coming up with ideas for like stickers that if you've ever seen national park stickers that are badges or things you can put on the back of your car or whatever. That's kind of the other part of the project. This branched off into multiple areas before I decided on one thing. Sort of decided on one thing, and I'll show you what I mean. So before I even got into, hey, let's make some stickers out of this, I was doing a painting. I was making a Red Bluff painting. I sort of had an idea of doing something, maybe it would be a badge, maybe it would be something. So that is not getting out of my comfort zone. That is what I'm doing first, is we're going to work on a little bit of painting, because let me pull up some of this reference. So this is Red Bluff. These are terrible pictures, but these were some of the things I got from the day. I didn't care. It was me going around with friends, hanging out. And this is some of the reference that I use for the painting. I'll just thumb through some of these real quick, but there is a road that is literally falling off. This used to be a highway. They've of course shut the highway down, but you can still walk around, and I thought that was really cool. So I thought with the painting aspect, I could put a little road in the foreground. I'd already planned for it. As you can see, there are trees here that we have. If you have any questions while we're doing this, please ask me, because you know, we're off the rails. So anything is possible. Let's see. So we'll start with the painting of this little road piece. And let me just show you what I've got set up here. So I've got some color swatches that I think will work. At least they work together pretty well, I think. I'm just going to add a new layer, call it road. If I can get my keyboard to, there we go. Wonder why they call it that. Yeah, it's hard to figure out. Clever. It's hard to figure out. So I'm going to grab my brush that I generally use here in the Wade brushes, a little chalk brush, and we're going to use this gray. I'm going to use this gray. And I really like the idea of it kind of being at an angle. And I may use this mask. You know what? I'm going to grab this mask. I made a mask earlier. Oh, let me show you. So before I get going, these are the things I've already worked up here. It's a really loose, rough idea of the area. I'm not like trying to go one for one because we're going to take this into Illustrator, do an image trace, quick and dirty, add some type, pull it back into Photoshop for some texture. But the one thing I noticed, I was like, these trees are probably not going to work very well for me because, you know, once you get in here, these pine trees are just a bunch of brush strokes. There's not a lot to it. So I did go ahead and make a layer that we're going to be using later, or we could use it now, but I wanted to show that I did separate these tree layers into something a little cleaner that I think is going to work for us better when we take everything over and image trace it. But back to the road. And I do have a mask here. I could drag all of this stuff in here. I'll show you what I mean. If I grab all of our little chunks, turn this on, it's now masked for us, nice and circular. If I turn this mask off, you'll see that's all the things, including our color swatches. I didn't have to put the color swatches in there, but this way I can work and not worry about I'm not going to worry about the edges. So back to our road. And I'm just going to start with a big old rough swatch here. A couple of things I do know. I don't know that I have, let me turn this back off. Oh, I do. I do have the yellow. I may bump that yellow up a little bit. We'll see. But I do want some stripes happening. Let's see. Did you have... oh, did I have to? No, it was quite an adventure. We didn't know what to expect in the... oh, these trees are on... Let me put the road on top. There we go. We didn't know what to expect when we got there, honestly, because I'd only seen pictures and kind of read like a little hiking guide to the area. It is not a national park. There are no rails on anything. It's all hike at your own, at your own risk, which is about right for here. I'm going to drop these out so I can see these colors. I'm going to grab this. Trying to keep up with my layers here. Yeah, so yeah, it's not necessarily unsafe if you take it slow and just I don't know. It was I got about halfway down and I was like, I don't know that I want to go to all the way to the bottom, which I'm glad we did because there was actually a little stream down there and that you couldn't tell from the top. You couldn't hear it, but once you got down there, you could hear the running water. It was a lot of fun to kind of explore the area. There was a lot of people there, which surprised us. I had hoped it would be colder, but it was actually wound up to be a pretty good day for all of that. And I only wanted it to be colder because I thought there'd be less people there. There were a lot of people and lots of dogs, and there was a ferret, as you can see in the video, a ferret with fairy wings, no less. So bonus points for fairy ferret wings. Lots of graffiti, which was really cool. I do have some pictures of some of that. But that whole thing was like, I don't know what we're going to find. I know I wanted to go. I didn't know what I would find. And I'm really glad I did. I was happy to have some friends that wanted to go with me, like I said in the video. Um, I was planning on going by myself. I'm super glad I did not. Like, I didn't get it into any bad situations, but I could totally see where you might, especially if it had been raining, but it was sort of dry, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm going to add this little stripe here. Little edge of the road. I'm going to start putting in the little yellow stripes, the do not pass stripes. And I'm just painting them in. I'm not being super careful, obviously. And I'm all painting all of this on one layer. This is, again, quick and dirty. Not really, trying to do it to a level that I'm happy with, but also not. I don't want to rush the process because I do want it to look good when it's done. But a personal project, you fit to fill the time you have to work on it. And if it's good enough, if it winds up being something you want to keep working on, there's no deadline. So you can come back to it at any point. It really is. That is the beauty of it. And I have tons of projects. In fact, this painting was one of those until I was like, hey, we should do that for AdventureBound. Let me check over on YouTube. Just make sure I'm not missing anything. What's up, Stuart? How's it going? Ferret, you were terrified. Come on. Yeah, they had a little bubble for the ferret as well. Like, it was a fun little, like a backpack with a bubble. That was really fun. Oh, let me turn on the jams. Sorry about that. I don't even know if you can hear any of that. Hello? Oh, there it goes. Okay. But yeah, they had a little bubble with the ferret, and everybody was taking pictures. It was really cool. Okay, what do I want to do here? So I want to add some cracks into this. I'm not really, again, I know that I'm about to change how this looks completely by going into Illustrator and putting an image trace on this. So I'm not super concerned. I just want to add a little bit of texture just so that there's some variation of color. And speaking of color, I don't know that I'm actually going to get these printed. I am working in RGB color space and will be working in RGB in Illustrator as well. I can show you how to change those out. And that's okay, because if I do get these printed, I will probably be using something like Sticker App or something, that's like a cheap one-off, because I'm not mass producing these really. I have used Sticker App before. They were good. They were, it was solid. Got what I needed. Relatively cheap. So just a heads up on any of the questions on like what color space you're in, how you work with CMYK. There are no requirements necessarily because this is a personal project. Not saying you shouldn't take the care if you wanted to print this, but that is something that I could definitely, again, do later if I wanted to. Are you going to do a series on sticker, emblem, patch for different outings? I have thought about this. I've also thought about branding these projects in a certain way. And I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it too much, and I say branding, I mean like just for me, just for fun. So that when I do something like this, I can call it a, so-and-so production. So I have some ideas with that. But it's a very good thought. Jack says they do like Sticker App. I have only used them a couple of times and I've not been upset. So that's usually a win if I can use them once or twice and they have delivered. I actually was hoping Moo, if you guys know Moo. I know they're a bit more expensive, but I've really enjoyed their customer service. So I was kind of hoping that they might get into something a little. I mean, I know they can do stickers, but I don't know that it's as flexible. And right now, I'm just looking at this and deciding where I want some of these shapes to be. It's just what I think looks good. There's no guide. There's no brief. Except for the one that I constantly create in my mind when I'm working on this. Like, this needs to be this way or this needs to be that. But that's just a part of the process. And taking these little, like, moments to do something fun. And that's what I do with my personal streams. A lot of times I will work on things that, they're outside of what I'm working on. One thing, because I can't show them necessarily. And another thing is because I need a break. And even though it's still in the same, if I'm still illustrating or something like that, it's just a break from the current work to let me get a moment to get, when I come back to it, to get fresh eyes on it. Yeah, that's the idea, Stuart. Stuart says, love how the dark lines punch the crumbling road to the front. Yeah. I was worried about this tree on the left being a little too dark, but I think I'm going to be okay. I think it's going to be fine. We're getting close. I think we're getting close. I don't know how much more I want to do to this road. I have, Marcia. I'm just, it's okay. Like, I didn't find, I mean, use what works for you. They were fine. I know that Adobe Live used to do a bunch of, like, Sticker Mule giveaway things way back. I don't know if anybody remembers that was here. Oh, speaking of remembering things, there was an office hours ages ago where I did something similar to this. It was the bookshelf tour where I did a tour of the bookshelf back here. Same sort of thing. It was like needed a break, had a hour to spend on it. I think I was learning Adobe Rush at the time, just to see what it was all about. Edited the whole thing in Rush, picked the music in Rush, just all of that just to get out of the comfort zone. So, on that note of getting out of comfort zones, let's see if we can take this over into Illustrator. Let's see what happens. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I think this might work. This might not work. I don't know. I'm going to see what happens. Just going to grab all of these, copy them to my clipboard, Control C. Let me get that off of there. Hop into Illustrator and Control V, and nothing happened. All right, so I'm going to do, what is this? The Windows button, V. Oh, it didn't copy it. All right, let's try this. I'm going to bring this all into one. Control E, Control C. I could save this, of course, and bring it in. Let's see, did that work? It did not. Okay. Oh, maybe that's it. Control C. Oh, it's not letting me paste it. There it goes. Okay. We got it. All right, so we have this with our road. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this artboard real quick. Just pull this up just to give us some space. Go back and select this and just align it to center as best as possible. And now we're going to walk into the image tracing part of this. This is, wait, what? Hold on, let's see, heading. Yeah. I'm so excited for this. Yeah, I hope I don't let you down, Jack. It should be relatively painless, maybe. All right, so with the image trace options, which are right over here. If you can't find them, you can go to Windows, Image Trace. I want to make some adjustments before hitting preview because it takes a moment, and I already know what some of the settings need to be. Just as example, if I turn this on, let's see, that's fine. If I turn this on, it's going to do that. And then when I take this over, start adjusting these, because I want the mode to be color, because I want to keep my color. And it's going to do this whole thing here where it's trying to simplify. It's going to give me some drawing errors on the PC. All right, come on. You can do it. And there it is. Okay. So we made it through that. But the reason I don't like turning on preview or don't want to have to turn on preview just yet, because I am going to have to undo this. Actually, that's not too bad. You know what? Maybe we leave it with that and we just move on. I'm not too mad at it. I had some adjustments that I had made after like working with just the painting. I think I'm okay with this. Could reduce it a little bit for the amount of anchors, because if we take a look, let's see. Oh, well, haven't expanded anything. Let's try it. Let's see if this works. Because I was going to go in here in the advanced and bring down some. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to turn preview off. Go back to our original image. Just in case there are weird surprises later. I don't want to have them. I don't have to take the time to correct everything again. And these are just all adjusted to taste after having worked with the painting in Illustrator. And things I'm doing is reducing the fidelity of the paths and the corners, and reducing noise, or sorry, increasing noise in this case, and simplifying to about 90%. I can try to ignore white. We should be okay there. And it's going to go through the same tracing again. Oh man, I didn't complete that down there. That's okay. Click OK. It's going to do its thing. Yeah, it can definitely take a minute, especially when it's like trying to parse all of the different colors that are partially transparent in Photoshop, and it doesn't know what to do with it. Okay. We got there. It's okay. It's all right. It's not any worse than it was, so I'm good with that. And from there, we can just go over here to Object, Expand. It's going to expand the object in the fill, and then we get our, that's our image right there. Just looking at the outlines. But now that we're here and we want to make some adjustments, if we want to make adjustments, I do want to make a couple of adjustments. And I want to introduce you guys. I know a lot of you probably already know this, but if you've not worked with the Blob tool, one of my favorites, to be honest. All right, so with direct selection, you can select an object or one of your path or outlines, I guess, in this case. This would also be a good case for live painting if you wanted to. But with the blob brush in mind, I think it's Shift B. Yeah, so now when I paint with this, it should just add to the shape. I'm gonna get in here real close. And it should just expand our shape. It did not. I don't know why it did not, but it's supposed to be expanding our shape. I'm not sure why that's not working, but I do want to extend this tree. So Jack, if you know why it's not expanding or completing the shape, let me know. I'm just adding a little bit of detail, blob, to this. Just because I think it needed a little something coming out of the side here. The road cut it off a little bit, I think. Same here. Oops. Shift B. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's Shift B. No, I don't know. Again, out of my comfort zone a little bit. I'm okay with it. It's fine. Double click to open the settings. Let's find out. Let's see, Jack. Oh no, I accidentally bumped this, I believe. Yep. Fidelity, roundness, size, merge only with and keep selected. Maybe we'll turn merge only with selection. Let's see if that works. Ew, it did not. Or did it? Oh, I bet it did. I bet it's been working the whole time. Arrange, bring to front. Oh. Yes. So yes, it is working. Just didn't realize the other shapes were on top of it. Okay, cool. Mystery solved. But you do have to have it selected, like that little blip I made right there. If I just start painting, which I keep using the wrong brush. If I just start painting, it doesn't add to it. It does use the same color, but you have to be selected. And then it should work. It did. Okay, perfect. I don't like those blobs. I'm going to just erase them. You have to be careful with this because all of these align. So Shift B again. Let's clever that up. Okay, cool. I think that works. I want to trim up some of these areas. Yeah, Jack, I think you probably were typing that as I was figuring it out, which is brilliant. Do I want to delete these? Possibly, which means I have to edit some of this. You know, it might be better than deleting is selecting this color. I think that's the way to go. There might be a few issues in the trees, but it's okay. I'm gonna get rid of this sky anyway because I want to do a new layer. Bring this down. Grab our chunks of sky. Should I have? Maybe I should leave it. No, we'll be fine. You know what? I'll do this part. I'll get it to there, and then we'll adjust it as we go because I want to add my own custom background. I'm going to use the ellipse tool. Make somewhat similar circle, and then just align this to the back. I did not put it on its own layer, which is what I was attempting to do. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to finish that cleanup process. Please don't crash on me, Illustrator. We had a crash. We had an illustration crash. Let's see if it can recover. Anybody can tell that this is going swimmingly. Let's see where we are, if it recovered. Okay. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Thank you, Illustrator. Not bad at all. All right, let's see if we can, let's save it at this state. Let's see, we're already saved. Yes, save. That's fine. That's fine. Click OK. All right, I am going to align this again. Not sure why it would crash with the alignment, but hey. Leap of faith, that's right. Yeah, I've run into a couple of issues like that, but they tend to, it all tends to work out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, direct selection again, grab these, delete everything that I don't need. And then, you know what, there's an issue here. I could come in here and select all these, but why do that when you can go select same, fill color, and then just delete all of that. One fell swoop. Make sure that I'm not missing it somewhere else. There's a couple more in here. I'll do the same with that. Bam. Select same, fill color. Ooh, I can't do that because there are too many. Let's just get rid of a few of those. Let's see if we can get this one. Same, fill color. That looks to be okay. Let's see. Nope. It's all right. I actually don't. It'll be fine, I think. I can always just select them and delete them as needed. All right, let's bring our background back in here. What I want to do with this, I'm going to make a copy of our background. Bring it to the top. It's blotting out everything, but I'm going to switch it over to stroke. Oh no. Oh no. Illustrator, don't do it. Illustrator, what are you doing? You're live on Adobe Live. Why are you doing this? Let's see what happens. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, cool. This may wind up being just a painting stream, by the way. I'm really trying to make sure this works. All right, we have our background. I think we have these two things I wanted to get out of here. Okay. New layer on top. Hey, it worked. Perfect. I do want to change this to white. Click OK. And I'm going to increase the stroke on this. And you can see it kind of creeping in. That's what I want. In fact, I think I'm going to make a new layer behind everything. And I could work on one layer and just like, you know, bring everything around to front and back and all of that stuff. But I'm so used to working in Photoshop with layers that it's just kind of second nature. And I know everybody works in their own way. I did it again. Oops, I did it again. But I am adding like a little background to the artboard just so I can see this, and I could lock it, I suppose, just so I don't grab it. But with this ellipse, I do want to go back into the appearance panel. Make sure it's selected. And this is where I'm going to get my thickness from, I think. I'm trying to think if this is how I want to do it. I might change to outside. Oh, outside? Nope. Why? You know what? Let's just try this, see if this works. All right. There we go. Don't know why that didn't work before. No idea. Okay. And I think while I'm here, I do want to add a border to this. Maybe I'm going to go a little bit bigger with this, because I do want to add a little bit of a border. And I'm just going to add a new stroke in the appearance panel and change the color to something like that. Bring this down somewhere in that area, I believe. Maybe a little bit smaller. And I may change this to center. Yeah, just to kind of cover some of those edges. There we go. Looking all right. That's right. That is probably what's happening, Oliver. It's like subconsciously, it's like, oh, speaking of, let's save this while we're here. We can. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? We'll save it as recovered just to teach Illustrator a lesson. All right, let's add some type. And I think I'm going to use the same ellipse again. You know what we could do? Hold on. Maybe we'll add another stroke. Add yet another stroke. I'm going to bring the points down, but then I'm going to add a offset path and then reduce that even more. How far do we want to offset this? Um, 12. Let's see. Sure. And then I'm going to take that stroke down a little bit more just for flavor. And I think I'm going to make the initial stroke even larger so that we have more of a border for our sticker. And everything is kind of bleeding off the artboard. Doesn't matter because we can always change the artboard, as you can see. If I were to do these, I'd probably do them at like a 2-inch size. So, you know, they wouldn't be very big anyway. It's locked, the background's locked, so of course. I'm not going to do anything with the background, so it doesn't really matter. But just for consistency's sake, click OK. There we go. All right, so I'm going to use this ellipse again, I think. And no, in fact, I'm going to, yes. I am going to make a copy of it. And then I think I'm going to clear. Do I want to clear this? Yeah, clear the appearance on that. And I'm going to bring it down into our image a little bit. And then grab the type tool. And hang on, everybody. Hang on. Trying to find it. And now it's not coming up. Oh no. Type on a path. Okay. Perfect. But it's tiny, and of course I have to change all this. But they're these little anchors, and I'm sure you guys have seen these anchors before. And I'm just going to put these over on the sides here. Uh-oh, grab the wrong one. Bear with me. Is that correct? Nope. All right, I think this is right. Gonna line these up just so I have these centered enough. And then take that type and center it, and now we have it on the top. Should be perfect. Oops. Grab all of that, go back to our character panel, and then just go chonky. All right, we did it. We added some type, but we don't want to use just this random type. I did go and look on Adobe. Let's see, do I have this ready to pull up? Yeah, look at this. All right, so I went and found, there's a really cool little font pack, retro glamping font pack. And it has a bunch of typefaces that are very similar to the, national parks looking signage. And we're going to use something from that. There's also another one that I thought was really cool. And there might be something there if you want to do something similar. The Fonts Across America, which has some of that same, some of these same scripts and things like that. I say scripts, but they're like the little curvy, like Bella script. It is a script. But that one I really like. Just a couple of font packs that I think are pretty fun. And of course, I have already gone and selected these as my favorites. So I'm going to go turn my favorites on. If you don't know about this, you can use filters and select the favorites from your font list if you go and highlight them with the little star. And so I have Cubano already selected. I don't want italic. I just want regular. And now it's just adjusting things to taste. So I'm going to pull this down quite a bit. And it's going to change the font size. Actually, I'm going to beef this up quite a bit. I'm just going to say like 150. 125. Okay, not mad about it. I maybe want to leave the top of this tree not to be obstructed. So I may just pull this down until I'm satisfied with it. All right, like it. I don't know why I keep turning on the little Wacom tablet menu. I'm going to select this color and hope that it did the thing I didn't want it to do, but that's because of the way I have this set up. If you double click on your selection tools, you can choose to turn off character styles and all sorts of things. But I think I do have these already in swatches, I think. Where are my swatches? There we go. I think this is the one I use. Nope. There it is. So there we go. I like that. Let me adjust this slightly. You could make your own swatch. Ooh, am I working in? Oh yeah, so for color adjustments, you can go to your color mode. I should be in RGB, but I was in CMYK. I apologize for that. I would also set up the swatches I made earlier. I would make a new folder and maybe call it Red Bluff. Like I said, we're off into a new area here. There was no plan for making swatches and making things, for this, but it makes sense, right? To go ahead and add all your color swatches like we had in Photoshop. Of course, those were just painted, but you could always take the number and create those swatches based off of the RGB values. That would be fine. Okay, what's next? I want to adjust the background of this a little bit with a gradient, of course. So I'm grabbing the background ellipse, going into my gradient tool. Oh, actually, I'm activating the background. Let's see if this works. Hey, look at that. And then I want to rotate this thing around. All right, why you do this? I think I do want it lighter up top. So I'm just going to pull this where I want it. Grab some colors. I kind of liked what we had. Maybe I should. Well, I'm gonna go work through this process and then figure it out. Because right now I'm kind of off the chart on what I was. Here we go. All right, I'm going to pull this up. There we go. I just want a tiny bit of a gradient, not a lot. I think we are losing these background trees a little bit, so maybe I will pull this down. I'll go the other route. I'll pull them up a little bit and then increase this lightness just slightly bit. Slight. There we go. So just a taste of a gradient. And then I will bump this middle point down a little bit. Something like that. Watch out for the vibrating contrast. Absolutely. Definitely check that out before going into any printing. see. Because your RBG is going to be a lot different than your print. And some places will also allow you to have, like most places will let you do test prints. Something like a sticker app, not so much, but you know, you can always reach out to people and see if that's something they're willing to do. All right, I'm not quite done with type. I'm going to add one more thing here. I'm going to put MS for Mississippi. Bring that down, holding down shift, align this to the middle. I might move it up slightly, and what do we think? I don't want to, can use our same red there maybe. And then just for some flair, I might add a little line over here with a stroke. And then go to our appearance and bulk that up a little bit. Change the cap style by opening the stroke options. Round that off. Let's see. And then grab this. It's not going to be aligned directly where I want it. I think that's fine. I think that works. That's going to work. I think I want to change the reds. I want to change these to our swatch red. Because then now it's all about just like to taste. And I think that's looking okay. Let me check on the chats. We also have a visitor. What's up? What's up, YouTube? I definitely see you guys over there. I actually only had YouTube chat hidden. Can I help you? We have a visitor. Meeps has arrived. Would you like to say hi? No. If she wants to say hi, I will bring her up. Okay, back to this. I think I'm just going to save this to my library at this point. I'm going to lock that so I can just grab everything. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to work. It should work fine. I'm just going to drag this over. I already have a Red Bluff library open. And there's a couple of things that may happen. I've had this happen in the past, and we'll see what happens. Going back into Photoshop. Oh my gosh, Photoshop. I've missed you. How have you been? It's been forever. I'm going to turn all of this off and just drag this over here. Let's see, bring in our artwork. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Possible issue. Anybody knows how to get rid of this, let me know. Because this is part of the, hey, I know some things. I do have a workaround for this. But what I'm trying to show, and it may not come over in the video, is that there's a little hairline. And this happens when there are vector shapes that are next to each other and then they get rasterized. Wouldn't even be a problem if I printed this. I didn't even have to show that to you. Like I could have just kept going. But I did find a workaround for it. And it's actually really simple. If I go to Object, Rasterize, click OK. I've got it set for 300. You could set it up even higher if you wanted. Not a problem. Rasterize the image. I'm going to drag this into here. Now we have artwork 2. I'm going to turn this one off. Drag this in. And then it's gone. So it has to do with the anti-aliasing. You can add a small offset. That's what I found in my research. But then I was like, why am I do that when I should be able to? Let's see. Let me see if I can grab this at all. Okay, cool. But we're going to work with this, I think, as it is, and it's fine with me. I mean, like I said, I would probably use that. So you'd have to do an offset path on every single shape, like select all of them. Is there a way to do it in one fell swoop? That's the other part. Change this to canvas so I can align this. And I'm going to see if I can use this mask. It shouldn't. Okay. It's not quite right. Yeah, it's not going to work like that. That's fine. Because it is not dead center. Get rid of that. We're fine to work with this. And the last thing I want to do is come in here. I think I have an image already for this. But adding texture, I kind of wanted to push this a little bit more just by adding a little bit of texture. There was Ryan Sprague was on yesterday, I believe. Take a look at towards the end of his stream. He went into a little bit more in depth on adding texture. I just went to Adobe Stock. Let's see if I can pull that up. That is not the right thing. Here we go. Stock.adobe.com. And if you don't know about stock.adobe.com/free, that will take you to everything that's free on Adobe Stock. And I just search for paper. Nope. Paper texture. Ba-bam. And find something you like. We can actually, I think this is the one I even grabbed. I'll grab something like this. Take a look at it. Sure, license for free. It'll add it. It's going to ask me if I want to save it. It should save it straight to my library. I don't need to save it because it's in my library. And then here, let's see, it's loading. You can see it loading right there. You can add an offset path to the entire selection at once. Does it change the color information at all? It just keeps the current color, I'm assuming. See, I knew Jack would know the answers and coming in handy. And that was the thing I found, but I was like, maybe I'm not, there's finding the info and then applying the info. That's completely different thing. Okay, so I want to, first I want to bring in the texture that I already had. Just going to drag this on top. Should just be a little piece of paper there. Sure, right? I'm going to select this as a mask. Like all I did was press Control or Command in the layer, and it made a selection of our sticker. And then I'm just going to add a mask to our paper so that it just shows up like this. And this is probably the easiest way to do any of these things is just come in here, add a multiply to this, play around with the opacity. You start to get these nice little grainy textures. I don't know what this other paper is going to look like, but I'm going to add that one too and see what happens. Oh boy. All right, so it is a cloud object. I'm going to scale it up. I probably won't use it. I can see better now what this is. Just make sure it covers. And then we can use that same mask by dragging Alt or Option and just dragging that mask up. It'll give us our little circle, and then we can change this to multiply or overlay or whatever works for you. And that is too much grain, but it might be cool just pulling that way back. And sometimes you want, like these are little dark specks. If you wanted the little lighter specks, you could grab that same layer and just make a copy of it. I'm going to turn this one off so it doesn't confuse us as much. And then change this to screen with an invert, Control I, and it will use a smart filter. And it applied that to that cloud layer. And when I move this, you can see that it's kind of like acting like a shadow, but that's not really what we want. We want this to be its own thing, so we can just grab that and rotate it. And now they're in a different location. It's going to look all fresh and new, and no one would ever know that it was the same texture. And it adds a nice little, little bit of chunky texture feel to that. And I think I would probably come in here and rough some of the type up a little bit because I like doing that in Photoshop as much as anywhere else. I know that you can do it in Illustrator because I have seen it a lot of times. But that is not something that I am prepared to do today. And this is going to be it. This is our sticker we made for our Red Bluff personal project. I hope you go out and find something, like if you're really swamped and you take just a few minutes to maybe make something that's out of your comfort zone, just to maybe learn a few things, re-familiarize yourself with a few things. I highly recommend it. It does personally keep me energized and keeps me going. But that is going to do it for me. Thanks, everybody, and I hope to see everybody real soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.